Luigi is such a fascinating entity in the world of video game mascots. For the longest time, he was just a greener, taller, slippery-er Mario, existing solely as an extension of an already completed character. And though he would appear in cartoons, sports games, and other random spin-offs, he was just kind of there for the ride, never really trying to take the spotlight, and just kinda happy to hang out with his friends. Until the year 2001, where Nintendo had a sit-down and decided that it was finally time for Luigi to have a full-blown standalone title. And knowing that Luigi was scared, shy, skittish, and terrified of just about everything, Nintendo thought, screw it, let's send him into a mansion full of ghosts that want him dead to rescue his kidnapped brother. And let's make him do it alone too. Enter Luigi's Mansion, a game full of ghosts, jump scares, boss fights, babes, and demon babe-ease. I absolutely loved this game as a child, but I remember not being the largest fan of how this mansion was presented. Almost feeling like a dollhouse the entire time instead of a living and breathing entity. Which got me thinking, how different would Luigi's Mansion be if it was purely in first person? Can you even beat Luigi's Mansion as a first person game? And most importantly, would first person Luigi's Mansion even be fun? Well, we're about to find out, and it is going to be a lot jankier than we could even imagine. But first, demon queens, sentient bears, and Vikings. All kind of terrifying, but none as terrifying as the ultimate Death Knight. Raid is back with more collaborations with iconic franchises. That's right, the Ultimate Death Knight is back, which is horrible news for all of his haters, but great news for us. Now this ain't no dorky regular Death Knight, okay? That guy is lame. The Ultimate Death Knight takes all the hits for your team, putting himself on the line because if nobody got you, at least the Ultimate Death Knight got you. Amen. The Ultimate Death Knight heals himself just by watching enemies heal, which is almost as funny as it is petty, and he also shields his entire team as well, shutting down enemy legendaries with provoke, spheres, and stat reductions. There's literally nothing he can't do. PvE, PvP, PvC, if he's building something, you name it. But most importantly, and I don't want anyone to hear this, so get closer. Right now, the Ultimate Death Knight is completely free. Keep your voice down, I don't want anyone to know. Download Raid Shadow Legends using my link or scanning the QR code on screen and use the code UDKING to get the Ultimate Death Knight for completely free. But you gotta hurry up and do it now before he disappears again. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's back! Get him! You can also get Fayne and Tayrel after reaching level 15. And new players can pick 1 out of 6 promo codes for a legendary champion of their choice. Believe me, you and your party will thank me later. Thank you, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring the video. Now let's get back into the content. Our journey starts off with a cutscene. Pre-rendered cutscenes aren't in first person, so we actually get to see Luigi be scared as hell here. We enter the mansion, and already the vibes are off. I'm beginning to think this place is haunted. So we get a feel for the controls, and they are kinda awkward. The camera is bound to Luigi's body, meaning that turning left doesn't immediately turn you left, you have to wait for the light to go first. This will be important later. We get a scary-ass Resident Evil door is locked cutscene. Then we get a non-rendered cutscene where Luigi doesn't really look where he's supposed to. This is something we're gonna be dealing with a lot. Like when you find a toad, you kind of only just see the top of his head. We enter the parlor and Luigi is clearly trying not to poop his pants. Then we get attacked by a ghost. Egad's goofy ass saves us and takes us to his training chamber, where we were gonna get our first taste of the combat in this mod. Okay, so I gotta stun him with this. Okay, all right, that is so hard to look at. My goodness, that's so hard to see. All right, if I ever get attacked from behind, that's going to be a nightmare. Since the camera follows where Luigi is facing, this means that when you're sucking up a ghost, the game turns into a 9.5 earthquake simulator. While actively sucking, you also can't turn around to look at anything else, which is going to become an issue much sooner than later. We finish up the tutorial, and I just want to say, this game looks way better than I thought it would first person. The graphics look great, and the ambience is actually actually kind of off-putting. This does give the aura of an old horror game, right? Like just looking at this angel in FPS mode, it actually does give like horror game aura from like PS2. It's crazy how much it changes the vibe of the game. Egad sends us back into the mansion and waves us off like a proud dad, sending his son to the lowest rung of hell. And now I could finally say that our journey has started. We get attacked by our first set of ghosts. Are you afraid of the dark, little man? Are you? Blah ha ha! Here they are now. Uh-oh. 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 Yes, owned. Got one. Got one and only had a minor seizure. Cool. Got him. I gotta, like, stand back to see downwards because Luigi's so tall and the camera doesn't let you look down. Mario! Sick. Nice. We got a key. We got a key. Now let's check our Game Boy Horror. Oh, it tells you where the key goes, too. All right, I was so worried about getting lost in this game. We get attacked in the anteroom, and here they send out more than one ghost at a time, which actually makes it so much harder. I don't even think that children got hit in this part of the game, but here I was getting love tapped from every direction because I can't see shit. I'm gonna talk about some meta stuff because I genuinely find it interesting, but one of the main things that's different playing FPS versus not FPS is trying to keep your back to a wall so that you don't get jump scared or punched by something you cannot see. With the anteroom done, we survive a humbling experience my ego won't recover from. We head into the wardrobe room and meet an enemy that directly counters this gameplay. The green ghost, who constantly throws banana peels everywhere. And these banana peels are not only impossible to see in this mode, but also deal damage and cancel your active sucking, making the act of capturing ghosts suck twice. Did the key land up there? Dude, you can't be doing stuff like that, man. Oh, yeah. If I didn't see that, we would have been cooked. And now it was time for us to start facing portrait ghosts, aka unique ghosts that you have to bait out by doing a specific task, starting with Neville. Turn to the side and look at the mystery from a different view. A way will surely open. Got him. Hold on now, player, hold on. Got him. Ooh, we got our first, like, boss ghost? That was a boss ghost, right? The next boss is Lydia, who just checks herself out until you pull the curtain, and then she goes to close it because she's chilly. Two things. One, I didn't know that ghosts could get cold. And number two, I just realized that this game is just Luigi rage-baiting ghosts in their home and then kidnapping them, which is kind of funny. We leave Lydia's room and then go back into Lydia's room because we forgot to get the tiny treasure chest we couldn't see. Then we make our way to the final portrait ghost of the area and the game's first actual boss. He wants to be rocked, is that it? Rockabye baby. Oh yeah. Oh, cool, I did it. Hey, wanna play with me? Uh-oh. Bro, that's how you're gonna start the playing? Take that, buddy. Ow, you gave me an owie. I just wanted to play with you. I hate grown-ups. Why do you have to be bigger than me? I've had enough. Small, now grow smaller. Small, itsy, tiny, little wee. Ga, ga, goo, goo, ga. Oh, damn, he's a mage. Forgot we had to fight a mage baby. I'll admit that I was nervous about the baby being an actual boss fight in first person, but fortunately it was actually quite manageable. The horses only attacked from one side, so the bullet hell section wasn't too bad. The main difference in approach was having to walk backwards in order to keep an eye on the baby whenever he attacked. But beyond that, I'd even say that aiming the ball in first person was a lot easier. Maybe first person mode is how this game is meant to be played? Big baby conquered! Yes! Dude, hell yeah, we got him! With our first boss defeated, now all we had to do was put the ghost in the ghost portrificationizer? Damn, it's a big ass word. So that we can finish up the first area of the game. Is this the parent? Is this the two parents and the baby? The family that got like triple homicided or something? Do we ever find out how these ghosts died? No, right? Nintendo never did that. They never did like a 13 ghost thing with like a bonus DVD. Jesus, they're torturing them? They're torturing the baby? And presto, it turns into a giant, beautiful ghost portrait. My God, that's dark. And now that we're done with Area 1, it was time for our checkpoint. So far, the game isn't too bad in first person. I mean, the earthquake camera mid-sucking is actually pretty hard to look at. But for now, I was having a pretty decent time just checking out the scenery. Little did I know that things were about to get so much worse. We head back into the mansion and check out Area 2, which is a lot bigger than the first. We walk into a bathroom and have to fight two ghosts at the same time, only here it's a lot harder because they're grabbing ghosts, which latch onto you and ruin your sucking ability if you get unlucky. The key hilariously drops somewhere stupid again, and I almost don't see it. Then we head to the ballroom where we have to defeat 6 dancing ghost shy guys. I'm sure they have a name. Let me look this up. Ghost guy? Really? They don't offer much of a challenge because they just kind of dance around, which makes me feel kind of bad because I'm definitely the vibe. But once they're defeated, we hit a puzzle that genuinely makes me worried, because I'm stuck solving this for 10 minutes. Here's why it scares me. Luigi's mansion is built around the idea that players can see everything at the same time. Thus, certain puzzles are a lot easier when you have a standard camera, since you can see what's supposed to happen. In first-person mode, however, you don't really get to see anything besides Luigi's incredibly limited vision. So for this specific puzzle, where you have to turn your back until the ghost gives you an indicator that he's ready to attack, you kind of just have to face the wall and shoot randomly, like an old Western movie, or the Blair Witch Project, I guess. We kind of luck out and catch the dynamic duo, then we hit the secret back room and free a bunch of boos. If you don't remember this part of the game, basically 50 boos are now freed in the mansion and can be in any room, including the ones you've already cleared. And not only are they annoying to catch, but they're also necessary to progress. At least they got funny names though. Fortunately, they're not that bad. The radar seems to work a lot better in first person, and the boos don't really put up a fight beyond saying a little quippy one-liner. After bumbling around and catching enough boos, we finally unlock the next room, which is a toad crying because he flushed a key down the toilet? The hell you do that for, dumbass? The key unlocks the fortune teller room, which then leads us to another room where you have to use the reflection of a mirror to spot ghosts. This actually makes things a lot easier because it's the one time you can see behind Luigi. We get the fire medal, which allows us to now suck up and use fire, catch a boo who was asking for it with this dumbass name, then use fire in the hallways to scare the candle ghost into his room. We chase him down with an immense amount of bravery and gusto, then we're immediately killed because we're ass. We try again, and this time we win, but with barely any health. Now, I haven't played this game in over 20 years. However, I don't remember health ever being scarce. In this playthrough, we have to constantly go on heal trips, where I head back upstairs into the completed rooms from before in order to shake some shelves and items to top my health back up. But in like 5 minutes of backtracking, you only get like 40 health back. I'm sure we'll find a more efficient way to do this soon, but for now, it'll have to do. We fight Melody, aka the piano ghost, where all you have to do is tap every instrument and then answer where her song is from. Ooh! Banger. Talk to him, Melody. Yup. What image do you think the piece's composer had in mind while writing it? I would say maybe water. Exactly right, you got it. Very impressive. I guess I needn't hold back with you. Would you care to do a battle with my lovely music sheets? What? Once you do this, she sends evil music notes at you, and you just gotta suck them up until she gets mad and capture her. It's a fun little boss, and not that much different in first person. Something I haven't mentioned yet is the massive hallway you have to constantly walk through in order to get to any of these rooms. This hallway is an absolute nightmare. Ghosts drop bombs on you, there's mice that attack you which hurt you, but you can't see them. There's bats. I can't even count how many times I took stupid damage here, which is made a lot worse because of how hard it was to heal. It feels like you're walking through some sort of cheap haunted house. Oh fuck, I gotta find Mario. Our next portrait ghost is Mr. Lugs, a glutton who eats constantly. To bait him out, you have to stop his minimum wage waiters from refilling his food by killing them. Yeah, oops. Then Luggo attacks you with fireballs, which are not only hard to dodge because of first person, but also hard to dodge because the room is so small. Mr. Lugs is like 30% of it, man. What are you doing? Go hang out in the courtyard, bud. We conquer Mr. Lugs, head into the pantry, and unlock the water element, allowing us to shoot water, you get it. And finally, it was time for our last boss of the area. Well, after another heal trip, I love backtracking. We collect health and make our way to Spooky and Mr. Bones. You fill Spooky's water bowl up, get him to chase you around, and then Mr. Bones gets frustrated and shows himself, allowing you to capture him. He drops a bone which distracts the dog long enough for you to suck him in too, and then the real fight begins against Bogmire, who creates a bunch of shadow ghosts to chase you, which you can suck up and shoot back at him to expose his weakness. And I just gotta say, much like the first actual boss fight, that this one was fantastic in first person as well. For some reason, the boss fights almost seem like they were meant to be played this way. I had a lot of fun. And with Bogmire dead and gone, we finished up our first half of the game, meaning it's time for another checkpoint. Yeah, okay, it got way worse. Way worse. Getting jumped by multiple ghosts is significantly harder than I expected. The mirror room was actually kind of hard, even though I had the ability to see behind me. I think the ballroom was the moment where I felt the most helpless. I know it looked fast in editing, but I actually sat there staring at the wall and vacuuming random items for like 15 minutes. Much like Neville, I still don't know what I did right. I just kind of stood there and eventually the ghost appeared. With our first half behind us, I definitely want to say that I'm starting to feel the first-person jankiness more and more, which leads me to an interesting point. Nintendo has a history of making easy games since they tend to target all ages. Though this may sound like a weakness at first, this is also why you can experience so many of them in different ways. The fact that a game that was made as a third-person top-down puzzle game can be explored as a first-person title without running into any snags is kind of insane. And definitely not something you'd be able to do if this were made with the concept of difficulty in mind. But boy, are these snags coming. We head back into the mansion and the stupid, stinky, awful, poopy hallway is lit up. Which is actually huge news because we can start finding hearts here to heal. We head outside and we finally catch a glimpse of the object of our obsession. A Mario painting that kind of sounds like him. And in this painting, he's trying to get out. Oh fuck! We gotta save Mario! Oh wait. What the f- Why did I get hit? We run into a toad at a porta potty who tells us we have to find 4 more pieces of Mario's clothing. Then we head into a new room and fight a gym bro. First person doesn't really mess up this boss too much. You have to shove punching bags into him which expose his heart, but there's one specific issue that I haven't really gone into yet. The healing hearts in this game basically have a non-existent hitbox, so there are a lot of times that you just kind of chase one around hoping to grab it and miss it repeatedly. A lot of ghosts also drop poison mushrooms which bounce around, and if you touch them they deal damage and disable you for a few seconds, which is never a fun mechanic. We defeat Biff Atlas, yeah, this dork's name is Biff by the way, and keep our pace. We grab the ice medallion, then we head into another long and dark hallway. These sections are by far the biggest pain in first person. It's too much to react to. Luigi's turn radius doesn't lend itself to dealing with multiple enemies. And I genuinely start to panic here. We fight Yarn Grandma, which is annoying because you can trip on her yarn. Also, she doesn't deserve to be captured, man. She's just knitting. Do you know how old you have to be old as a ghost? Luigi's vengeance knows no bounds, I guess. The next boo is called Bojangles. I have nothing to say about that. I just thought it was funny. We see the outline of a baddie showering and decide to be peeping toms, which leads us to being catfished and killed instantly. Kind of deserved. Then we kill the toilet ghost by just pouring water on him. What were you doing in the toilet, bro? We eventually make it to the coolest looking area in the game, which is the Observatory, and in first person mode, it looks fantastic. Except for the part where you shoot a meteor at the moon and blow it up. I don't know why I did that. We hustle the billiard ball ghost because Luigi is tight like that, and then we head to the room that made me the most nervous in the entire run, for a pretty solid reason. The projection room is an area where ghosts aren't visible. Nintendo decided to get cute and try something that's supposed to be fun. In the normal game, you see the outline of the ghosts on the projector, and because of it, you can somewhat tell where they're coming from. Unlike the mirror, in first person, it's really hard to tell where the ghosts are exactly, especially with how slow Luigi is able to turn his body. The main FPS meta change here was actually using my elemental abilities because I sort of had to. When you spray ghosts with an element, it deals damage while also freezing them in place. So if I ever got attacked by ghosts that were hard to deal with in groups, it was always a safe option to avatar they as. We find the twins who want to play hide and seek, and this entire section here is a nightmare. Finding them isn't so bad, but once they're pissed off and want to fight, this section turns into World War II because these pieces of garbage fly around in warplanes and drop bombs, which is already kind of hard to deal with because you can't fucking see shit. I haven't really mentioned it until now, but Luigi can't look up either. So whenever you aim upwards, your light moves up, but your view doesn't. This may not sound like anything, but aiming vertically becomes a lot more difficult because of it. We luck out and finish the room, and the treasure chest unlocks Mario's shoe, which is the last Mario piece we need for the psychic ghost. She tells us what we know: Mario is trapped in a painting, boos are evil, yada yada yada. Then she tells us there is nothing more she can say and gives herself up to be captured, but still kinda tries to run away from it. What are we doing here, man? As we hit a bit of backtracking, I want to talk about something deep and complicated, and that's the vibes and how much they shifted in what seems to be a minor change. Sure, there's jankiness, unfair difficulty scaling, and a ton of issues everywhere I look, but it actually does feel like a whole mansion now instead of the weird toy house vibe you get from the normal game. The only other example I can think of is when you first play Minecraft in VR. You hear everywhere that each block is around 3 feet tall, but once you're staring at it and it comes up to your waist, you realize, damn, that's actually 3 feet tall. It's honestly really impressive how much this actually works when it does, which is definitely due to Nintendo's insane amount of polish, but also due to the modders who made this possible. We try to go upstairs, and then we're stopped by a boo who tells us that we need 20 boo captures before progressing. I don't remember this part being so annoying, and maybe I'm starting to tilt because of the camera issues, but backtracking for boos is such a pain in the ass. Not only do they force you to look everywhere, but all they do is talk shit and escape. Little bastards. We backtrack for a lot longer than I'd care to admit. Catch enough booze to get through this hallway and fight a room full of banana ghosts, which is just as fun as you think it is. Then we enter the forbidden door and find ourselves outside on a rooftop, where we have to face a giant boo that is made out of smaller boos. He just bounces around until you catch him, then you have to pop him on a spiked statue, which is kind of funny. Once he's split up, you freeze the small boos and capture him little by little. And again, these major boss fights feel so good in first person. With Big Boo done, we head back to the Ghost Portrificationizer and finish up our third area of the game, meaning we only had one more zone to clear. Time for a checkpoint. Dear goodness, that was awful. I know it doesn't sound like much when we think about what differences the camera would make, but when it fails you, it fails you. The projector room took me so long. Even with element spam, I kind of had to just turn around, spray, and hope for the best. I don't know if the animations are confusing me or if I'm just a lot worse at this game than I remember, but there are so many times where I think I'm supposed to get the ability to attack the ghosts, and then they just disappear. I'll chalk it up to the vacuum not being aimed precisely, even though it looks like it is. We head back into the mansion for our fourth and final time. Then we finagle around and capture whatever booze we stumble across. We head towards the next area, which is accessible by the door on the rooftop, and let me explain something. To get there, we have to walk through the foyer, into the massive downstairs hallway, into the courtyard, through the rec room, up the stairs, into the second massive hallway, up another flight of stairs, into the safari room, through another hallway, out into the rooftop, and to our next door, which, though scenic and quite beautiful in first person, takes up a decent amount of time. So we finally get to the door to unlock it, and it turns out that lightning knocks the power out of the mansion, meaning I now have to walk all the way back down to the basement, which is right by the front door. Those of you who are fans of Luigi's Mansion may already know the secret tech to return to the front of the house, but remember, I didn't look anything up and haven't played this game in 2 decades, so I forgot. Backtracking all the way through the mansion is kind of miserable and definitely highlights the worst part of the first-person camera. As you can imagine, since all the lights are now turned off, that means ghosts have started to spawn in every single room all over again. So I basically had to dodge the ghost I could see and fear the ghosts that I couldn't. To make things a little worse, Professor Egad basically tells me that there's a portrait ghost I can only catch when all the lights are off, with the hint that the ghost will only hang out in a room full of mirrors. Do you know how many rooms there are which are full of mirrors? Me neither. I can't even tell you off the top of my head. But what I can tell you off the top of my head is that there is a room with a giant mirror in it. So we head there. Unfortunately, my sense of direction is ass, and Luigi walks as fast as swimming in Gorilla Glue. We eventually get to the big mirror room, and much like my favorite Stephen King movie, it ain't it. We bumble around the entire mansion, which isn't that fun, I'll be honest. Hilariously, looking at the audio file of my playthrough, I don't talk for like 6 straight minutes. Eventually, we get to the wardrobe room, and alas, here he is. Which is kind of annoying because this isn't even the most mirror-full room. There's like 1 mirror in it. I think beyond the constant earthquake camera and awful combat, the biggest sin about playing this game in first person is missing so much of the personality with the ghosts. I can't even tell you what this ghost was doing, or a lot of them for that matter. I just kind of hear a noise and get blasting. They all have unique animations of them doing specific things around the room, and from this perspective, you miss like 90% of it. Oh god, that was a hard one. That was such a hard boss to fight. Because like I couldn't really see what he was doing. I just kind of had to listen. We capture the old man and head to the breaker room, and at this point I couldn't be more excited. Backtracking is already kind of harsh, but doing it in first person and constantly getting cheap shotted is exhausting. We go downstairs and trip the breaker, then continue to explore the basement and try to walk down another hallway, only for a King Boo to yell at us and blow us back to the beginning, which was actually a big help because the next place we have to check is all the way back at the tippy top of the mansion. I don't want to piss off Luigi's Mansion enthusiasts. I just don't really know what I can do to skip all of this backtracking. Hilariously, there's a locked door that would have saved me so much time, but I never found the key to open it. I thought that maybe I got a treasure chest in first person mode that I wasn't able to see due to my limited vision, but spoiler alert, this key is intentionally hard to find. You just have to run on a treadmill for a bit and it spawns, which sounds like something the average player would do just to goof off. But in first person mode, I couldn't even tell that the treadmill was moving, meaning I never thought of trying it out. We walk all the way to the furthest possible point on Earth and enter the Clockwork room, where we gotta fight the Clockwork soldiers. These guys kind of surprised me because on paper they sound like a nightmare. It's 3 soldiers that follow you around and jump you while trying to shoot you with their guns. I don't know if I lucked out, but I beat them and only got hit like 7 times, which is good for me, okay? Give me a break. We take a weird elevator all the way up to the top of the mansion, fight a couple of ghost guys again, and then open a treasure chest with another key, only to fall through the floor and land in the sealed room, which is full of treasure. But here's the part where I'm gonna get mad. I got trapped in this room because there's no actual way out of it. But then I remembered something that I wish I knew the whole time. If you inspect any mirror in this game, it teleports you all the way back to the front of the house, which would have been useful all of those times I complained about having to go back to the front of the house. We head to the next room, which is the sitting room, and I guess this is supposed to be a room where the ghosts sit, like a living room, except it's on the 2nd floor and tucked away in the corner. This seems like a weird place to put something like this. Maybe next to the foyer, or at least somewhere on the 1st or 2nd floor. You'd think the ghost would be the scariest thing here, but the floor plan? Ugh. If this room isn't tacky enough, the next room has furniture on the ceiling. How the hell am I supposed to put my ass up there? There's a sleeping girl ghost on the bed, which I just start blasting with a flamethrower. Then I hit her with water and she wakes up mad at me. What the hell did I do? This boss isn't so bad. It's just kind of annoying to aim upwards, but for the most part, she just goes back to bed when you fail. The little queen needs her beauty sleep. I respect it. We have to head back to the top of the mansion again, and I just want to say that in the later sections of this game, the distance they make you walk between points of interest gets longer. Normally, this would annoy me, but knowing we were almost at the end, I'm taking it as one more chance to enjoy the atmosphere of this very weird and somewhat janky experience. We get to the armory where you have to open random chests and fight what comes out. This section is mainly annoying because ghosts keep trying to pull you through physical objects, which breaks you out of suck mode. And the banana ghost shows up again, which is always a bad sign. Also, potassium poisoning is a real thing, man. You better chill out, lest you want to die again. We fight the jar ghost, which is like Danny Phantom levels of silliness. He pops out of jars and you have to hit him 7 times to win, which I was worried about due to my slow turning radius, but we did it on our first try. Yippee! With him defeated, we take a picture of the mirror to transport back to the front of the mansion, then head downstairs for the rest of the game. There is a section where you have to freeze water to traverse across it, and it really made me wonder why the elemental powers weren't used more in this game. I'm kind of glad they weren't, because it'd probably be a nightmare to do puzzles in this first-person mode, but it still feels like a squandered opportunity. I'm sure you may have noticed that I'm not talking about the boos at all because they suck ass. We head to the ice physics room where you have to dodge ceiling icicles while thawing out and fighting a ghost. I can't even blame FPS here. Ice physics and icicles are just a nightmare in literally every game, so this room sucks ass. Then we get a key to the last room we didn't check on the 3rd floor, which once again means walking all the way back up the stairs, which, you guessed it, sucks ass for the last time. And here's where we fight the final portrait ghost, named Vincent Van Gogh, who attacks you with waves upon waves of ghosts. When we first started this run, the sheer concept of this would scare the hell out of me. But now, after being weathered, battle-tested, and having the calves of a Greek god for climbing up and down those damn stairs 100 times, I was a lot more prepared. I managed to beat it on my first try by abusing the elements to stun the ghost. With Vincent Van Gogh defeated, we can finally head to our final fight and free our brother. And this boss fight is every bit as janky as you could imagine. You have to dodge things you can't see, avoid traps and projectiles, and also capture a boo that has 500 health. This boss took me over 20 minutes, which may not sound like much, but this is a game for babies. I'm not supposed to struggle anywhere. Finally, with King Boo defeated, we can say that we finished our run. And all we had to do was unportrificationize Mario. Damn, that must hurt so bad. Getting unportrificationized? That must hurt so bad. Actually, no, I feel like that'd feel good. In the same way those chiropractor videos you see on TikTok would feel good, you know? Probably shouldn't do it. A lot of those people you're watching probably died because of it. But looks like it feels good as hell. Now, how do you get them out of there? How do you get them out of the vent? All right, that makes sense. We did it. Oh, he's crying. Oh. Is he crying because he's laughing so hard? Is that what it is? He's crying because he's laughing so hard at Mario? And I got a moderate C ranking at the end. C? I mean, I guess that's ironic because I couldn't see at all. I think being able to beat Luigi's Mansion in first person is completely insane. Sure, there's a lot of issues, but seeing the mansion go from this dollhouse to an actual booming mansion that expands as you explore was really cool from the perspective of someone who enjoyed the game. I still don't know if I can recommend it to you though, because it was pretty janky. YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video, so be sure to click it. I'm sure you'll have fun there as well. I'll bet you $20. Nah, I'm just playing. Unless, nah, I'm just playing. Thank you, Raid, for sponsoring the video.